the Kota iRadio Network.
Back by popular demand.
Woo! Now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'm your DJ.
DjBBQ.
Has done over 400 events.
Oh yeah!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air.
Let's get ready to rumble! This is UnCut Live. Now, here's DjBBQ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DjBBQ of the Kota iRadio Network podcast. This is the UnCut Live show. I'm here with an icon in the industry. He's an actor. He's a voice actor. He's a producer. He's also one of the most iconic voice actors for a character. You would not believe that I have the golden pot at the end of the rainbow here. His name is Daniel Ross, other known as Donald Duck. Sir, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Dude, you have no idea, Mr. Ross, how much this is cool, because I'm an old school Disney cartoon person, and the fact that you're Donald Duck, the official voice of Donald Duck, is absolutely amazing. You're also Starscream, correct? If I'm not mistaken, and
That's correct, human. I voice Starscream for the Transformers games.
this is so awesome. And one of the greatest serials of all time, which I can tell you right now, I had that every Saturday morning cartoons. It's the best cereal. No one's going to tell me different. Lucky Charms.
Oh, they're magically delicious.
That's so awesome. I remember those commercials. I love them. Oh, man, this is awesome. So instead of marking out like a mark on pro wrestling, I'm going to try to, be the professional person. But, this is, you stutter because you're an iconic individual.
Do I get to say, let's get ready to interview?
There you go, right now. So your story on getting started as a voice actor, an actor, a producer, has a long road. And that's a pun intended, because you started on one side of the United States and you came all the way clear across country to go to the other part of the United States. Can you tell us a little bit? I don't want to go to the similar questions that you've always probably asked about a million times, but kind of give us a rundown. What was that like where you started? Where did you get that? Like, hey, by the way, I'm going to travel and start here and work my way over there.
It came from a place and a desire to always give Los Angeles a shot, to try out Hollywood. It was this. So I grew up in Maryland and I lived there my entire life. I had a film production company with my best friend, Justin Tim Payne. We made a bunch of independent, low-budget movies called Ninjas versus Zombies, Ninjas versus Vampires, Ninjas versus Monsters. And I was producing, small-budget films around the state, and I really enjoyed that life. But there was always a part of me that wanted to give the game a shot, so to speak, and take it out west and see what would happen. So, after a period of some tragedy and other things in my life, I just decided now's the opportunity. When is the right time to capitalize on your dreams?
Right.
So I made the decision. I quit my job. I left the film production company. I left my family, my friends. I packed up my car and I drove cross country with hope and a dream and a little bit of money saved up to see if I could do something with it. Right. And I wouldn't have made that decision if I didn't know inherently that I had something to offer. and I could have come out here and I could have said, I'm going to be an on-camera actor. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do voiceover. I'm going to do all the things. And I realized very quickly that I had to really focus on one thing. And for me, voiceover was what I decided on. I always wanted to pursue it. I love cartoon characters. I love, impersonating other actors. And I got into lots of trouble when I was a kid. I would do prank phone calls and things like that. So, it was something that I've always been told that I was good at. And I came out here to learn and to see what could happen. And so far, so good. So far, so good.
I don't want to wait too much longer to mention this, but you just recently won an award for your skill. And you said something in your TikTok video. And yes, everybody, he's on TikTok, so you can go ahead. We'll have that information put out there. You just look Daniel Ross up with the certified blue dot there, and that's him. You said something that was really inspirational in that TikTok video at the end, and I'm not gonna say it because it would be meaning more from you. You basically, didn't give up on your dream. And you can probably repeat it for us if you could, like what you said in there.
Absolutely. Follow your dreams, because you miss every opportunity you don't take. You miss every opportunity you don't take. So, that can have many meanings, but realistically, it just means that if you take your shot, the worst thing that can happen is somebody says no.
Right.
But if you don't take that shot and you regret it for the rest of your life, that is worse than somebody saying no.
Right.
So, I said that really in context to the award here. I'll show it off. It's nice and heavy. It's a big blunt object. But this was, basically for my body of work over the past 20 years of being a voice actor and being an on-camera actor. And it was a huge honor to receive from the Voice Arts Awards. But I hesitated. I hesitated to submit for that award because I thought, who, me?
Yeah.
Me in Hollywood? There are so many other amazing people that probably deserve this way more than I do. But I said to myself, you know what? You got to submit anyway. You have to take your shot.
Right.
And look what happened.
Right.
So that really was the message behind it. Not just, submit for awards and you might win.
Right.
You have to take those opportunities when they feel uncomfortable and believe in yourself, because you never know what might happen. You might end up the Donald Duck one day.
Well, and that's the thing that also adds to the whole road that you traveled. You took that risk. You went for it. You didn't hesitate, and it transcends into sports and basically anything that you do in life. And I that really resonated when I was watching that on TikTok, which I think is a great platform myself. They're
Great.
not sponsoring, but I might send them a bill for talking about them a couple times, but who knows. But what was the process of after you got from, and you had that small budget studio and then you went over here, what was the process of getting set? Because there's people I know from the university that's D1 here that might watch this that, hey, I want to go and continue my career after I do these plays and that stuff out to Hollywood. What was the process for you that you had to take?
So I went into the idea of moving out here from a place of I've got nothing else to lose. And I think when you're in there had been some trauma in my life at the time. There was some deaths in the family, some separations, and some illnesses and things. And I was really at rock bottom for a while, and I had to build myself back up. But the thing that really helped me to get through those times was the idea that there was something bigger on the other side waiting for me. And I had to go out and I had to make that opportunity for myself. Nobody was going to give it to me. No one was going to say, hey, we think you got the looks, kid. You should come out to Hollywood and be a star. Nobody was going to do that for me. I had to go out there and take it. And so the idea of going through that process really lifted me up, gave me a path, gave me the momentum to get myself out here, because it's incredibly difficult to leave a life behind.
Yeah.
I quit my job. I had been working for a long time. I left my film partners and what I was enjoying doing, my family, my friends, everything that I knew, to take a shot. And I said, okay, I'm going to give myself 5 years and we'll see what happens. At the very least, I've got a credit card where I've got points where I can buy a ticket and fly home if I need to.
Yeah.
You know, but I need to take this shot. I will regret it for the rest of my life if I don't try. So yeah, the journey out here was difficult. When I got here, you know, I was living below my means as best as I could, you know, eating ramen packets, you know, and trying to be as frugal as possible to survive, because it's expensive here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's not cheap to live out here. The cost of food is up, price of gas is up, rent is up, everything. So I eventually took the hardest job that I possibly could have taken. I worked overnights at Target, managing the logistics process. So all the trucks coming in, the freight going out, pushing the products, managing the employees who were exhausted working 2 or 3 jobs a day. It was from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. every single day, the hardest job I had ever done in my life, the most physically demanding job. But I had my days free. I could go to networking events. I could do lunch and go get some avocado toast. I could, you know, do my auditions. I didn't have to swap out my shifts with anybody.
Right.
So it's that flexibility, and I would just lose sleep.
Yeah.
So I worked very hard. I worked very, very hard until the point where I realized my intuition started telling me it's time to move on. It's time to start focusing exclusively on your voiceover career. And the moment it happened is when I booked Lucky the Leprechaun. I was driving off the parking lot of Target at 8 o'clock in the morning. I had said goodbye to all of my colleagues and friends and my coworkers. And I said, okay, here we go. I'm going to drive for Lyft part-time just to make some extra income. And I'm just going to, no health insurance. Let's do it.
Living on the edge.
As I'm driving off the lot, my agent calls and says, you booked Lucky the Leprechaun. And I literally tell people to this day, I got lucky, because it's true.
You did. Man, that is an iconic serial. That's an iconic character. How long has that character been around, by the way?
Oh my gosh, for the longest time. You know, when I was a kid, I remember I would go visit my grandparents, and they would take me to the grocery store and they'd say, now, Daniel, you can have anything your parents won't let you have. Go have fun. And I would immediately go grab Lucky Charms.
Right.
And I would take it back and I would pick out all the marshmallows and I'd put them into a bowl and I'd eat it. And it would look like I had murdered a unicorn because of all the colors on my hands. So, you know, I always had fond memories of the cereal. And yeah, it's a favorite here in the States.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Numerous times I told you off camera that I, you know, would watch Disney cartoons all the time when I was a kid. I mean, who didn't? I still am a big Disney fan. Now, I had something that I found out.
We're hopped up on sugary cereals and watching cartoons, and then later in life, we turn into Wilford Brimley saying diabetes.
Right? Yeah. No, most definitely. Now it's like, okay, yeah, we can't do that because, you know, the diabetes and all that stuff. But you know, here's the thing I didn't know, and I did research, and like I said off camera, I said I knew a little bit about you because I like cartoons and you know, the Donald Duck and Transformers and all that. I did not know that the name of Mickey Mouse's Mix-Up Adventures was not the original name for that. Now, okay, so that like mind blowed my mind here. So what happened? Did they reboot, or did they just like change the name of the original? Because it had to do with like a race car, didn't it?
Yeah, so they rebranded the show, and that was to open up I mean, I don't want to speak for the producers and executives and all that, but I think the idea was to just open up the universe a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The first show we started in, gosh, I've been doing this now for just over 5 years. It was Mickey and the Roadster Racers.
Yeah, that's the one that I remember.
That was what came after Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yep.
So Mickey and the Roadster Racers, we went for 2 seasons, and then they rebranded to Mickey Mouse Mixed Up Adventures, and they started taking the characters all over the world, and it wasn't just about the cars anymore.
Right.
That was still a picture, but it was more about the characters and their interactions and going on adventures. So hence Mixed Up Adventures.
Yeah. No, I had no idea about that because, like, honestly, and I maybe dumbed myself down here, but I thought it was just a new show. I didn't know the name. You know, actually, just kind of thinking about this, my nephew watches that at my sister's house, and they're huge. They just got back from Disney, actually. They did all the social distancing, did all that, just, kind of make sure people know that. But he loves Donald Duck. He loves this. So I just thought about that as like, when he gets old enough to be able to fully talk and pronunciate sentences, he's going to like flip out and say, hey, his uncle, all this, and then they can watch it. So how long does that show still going on, or how long has that show been on?
Yeah, the third season is currently airing right now. I think it's getting close to the end of its run.
Okay.
But it's still going strong. There's still new episodes coming out.
Yeah.
And there's some things I can't talk about, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse Mixed Up Adventures, Mickey and the Roadster Racers has been one heck of a ride. I've always told people, I'm borrowing the keys to the cabin cruiser, so to speak.
Right.
Donald's. So I'm just grateful to be here for as long as Disney lets me.
Okay, so like even with Lucky Charms, when did it kind of just like, you got the bit for Lucky Charms, when did it just like hit you like, oh my God, like I'm really this character like that's been here forever? When did it really hit you? Because you have those moments, and then it's just like, man, I'm really doing this.
I think when we got lucky, when we booked Lucky, my first inclination and response was, I'm so grateful to be working.
Yeah.
Because again, coming from where I told you before, I left my job. I left the comforts of my health benefits and pensions and 401ks and all that stuff. I left it all behind to say, hey, I'm going to do funny voices for a living. To the chagrin of my dad, who's like, you should be a doctor, you should be a dentist,
right.
You should be a lawyer. So I really went against the grain there, and I gambled, and I was successful with that. So to work really was the biggest focus for me at the time. But as I've gone to conventions and gotten to meet fans and people who are excited about the character and about, the serial and the history of it, that's where it really starts to hit me that, oh, this resonates well beyond just a job for me. This is something that people care about. This is something that is part of our societal fabric. I know we're talking about a serial here, but everybody knows what Lucky Charms are. That's something inherent to the U.S. So it's part of our culture, so to speak. And to be a small part of that is really a blessing.
Well, it's such a it's kind of like a norm thing for anybody that really grew up like, man. I think about it, a lot of kids anymore didn't really grow up to the point of what you and I grew up with Lucky on the Saturday morning cartoons, cartoons in the afternoon. But like, yeah, man, like it's just like an everyday thing that's part of the American culture. It really is. Now, you done not just video, well, you've done more than just one video game, and that was with the Transformers. And you showed me your awesome collection that you have behind you with like all the iconic Transformers from like Gen 1, I think is what those are up there.
Oh, these are from all over the place.
All over?
I've collected ever since G1.
Oh man, those are amazing. I still have all the cartoons on the full seasons, every season on the DVD. Nice. And if anybody of the younger generation is watching this, a DVD is a small little compact disc. It's more silver than blue. But you also did another video game, which is Warcraft, right?
Correct. I've been in a bunch of games. StarCraft 2, Nova Covert Ops I was in. Let's see here. Runaway 2, Dream of the Turtle. Obviously, the Transformers games from back in 2007, because there were multiples that came out around then. And then recently from World of Warcraft, Shadowlands. I played a bunch of different characters.
Right on. Any other characters that you've remember as a kid that kind of inspired you to do a lot of this voice acting?
Oh, absolutely. The Looney Tunes characters across the board. I would even venture to say, our friends from the WWF at the time. And
yeah.
I mean, because I considered them to be cartoon characters at the time. And I loved them, and I loved the colorful, boisterous nature of them. Looney Tunes, Popeye, Tom and Jerry, Mickey and Friends, Donald Duck, obviously, Chip and Dale,
Yeah.
Chili Willy, Pink Panther. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Right.
All the classics I loved and enjoyed, and I would try to imitate all of them because that was fun for me.
Right. You also, like I said in the intro, you're an actor too. You did I can't remember how many appearances, but you appeared on one of my favorite shows, is The Wire, if I remember right, and I can't remember what year that was. I guess I forgot to write that down in my iPhone. But you also was it around the
we like to say in the industry, acting is acting. There's no voice acting and regular acting. It's all acting.
Okay.
But on camera, yes, I did work on The Wire. I was an extra and stand-in for I think about 3 seasons. I had one tiny minuscule role. I think I played I was a drug dealer for one episode, and then I was a camera operator for another episode. And, so I got to work little bits and pieces on the show, and also Commander-in-Chief with Gina Davis. I worked on Head of State with Chris Rock, The Invasion with Daniel Craig. So there was a lot of stuff in the Baltimore, D.C. area that I would, work on, and that I was very lucky to be a part of. But it was an interesting cycle because living in that part of the world, it was impossible to have a career as an actor. It was a hobby. You could be an extra, you could be a stand-in. I got my union card by being a stand-in for the movie Ladder 49. So I was Joaquin Phoenix and Jay Hernandez's stand-in for that movie.
Okay.
And that was an amazing experience. I worked for 3 months on that, worked overnight. It was incredible. But it wasn't a career. So that's when my buddy Justin and I decided, hey, let's buy the quick stop. Speaking in Clerks terms, if you're a Kevin Smith fan.
Yep, definitely.
Take our own opportunities. And so we walked around a Blockbuster one day and we said, what movie isn't here? And we settled on Ninjas vs. Zombies. And so we made a low-budget, independent, schlocky horror comedy that has generated a bit of a cult following, which is kind of cool.
Oh, man, when I saw the 2 shows, The Head of State and The Wire, I was like, man, those are 2 all-time favorites of mine. Also, another thing that's favorite, because you came into TikTok I came into TikTok because I always gave my son a lot of crap for being on TikTok. Oh, you don't need to do this. And now he throws it in my face, which is rightfully so. It helped me during the pandemic, quite frankly, because there's a lot of things that I used to do that I can't really do. I mean, because they're not open at this point. But there's some iconic things I have to talk to you about and give you nothing but compliments, because you had a story of 2020 and 2021 eventually, which whoever that guy that ended up being 2021 that ran towards you, like, you got to give him a raise. Dude, that was just epic. Where
my
did
buddy
you come
I met with, and he played the werewolf in Ninjas vs. Monsters.
Okay.
His name is William in real life, and he played a wolf. But he was also in the opening scene of Wonder Woman 1984 as one of the robbers who Wonder Woman takes care of. So he's doing really well on his own. And he was visiting LA, and I'm like, hey, let's shoot a thing. Let's do a thing.
Man, that whole series that you did, and I'm going to call it a series because there was a couple of quite a bit of videos with it. Where did you come up with that idea? Because that was so funny, man. That was.
All credit where it's due. A lot of people take elements of what other people do on TikTok and try to make it their own. And I remember that, I'm forgetting the name of the creator, but he did this thing where he was like, he's waking up in the morning and he asks himself, can I at least have my coffee first? And he gets whacked in the head with like a toaster or something. And I was like, man, this reminds me of 2020 a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we do that? Let's make it 2020. And he gets whacked in the face with a pan, and it's just an ongoing thing. And every time I do this video, let's just add some battle damage.
Oh man,
and make him more exasperated, because that's how 2020 made us all feel in the first place.
Right.
And I said, let's just go absolutely ridiculous with this and try to make it like an epic movie trailer. And build up some hype for it, and it was successful. It was a lot of fun.
It trust me, like, I don't know if a lot of these creators understand like what it does for a lot of us fans. It gives us such a gives us away from the normal reality, and it's just entertaining. It's positivity is the most, and it just, obviously it's awesome, and I thank you for doing that. And I know a lot of people, just obviously the number of followers you have and all that. I laughed every time I saw one of those different injuries, and by the time that you were ending, I mean, you had your hair going around, you had the black eye. I mean, man, you don't know how many times that I literally, with no disrespect, I kept, like, there's times where I'd be in the morning and I'd go on TikTok and I'd be drinking like this, and it'd be the spit take because it was so damn funny. I mean, it's just like I tell, like, the co-owner, my friend Cole, that does the Pro Wrestling Uncut show that's on every Wednesdays here on our podcast part of the podcast, and I keep telling his brother-in-law, because some of the stuff that he does in the WWE, like, you owe me a drink, you owe me a pop, you owe me a new coffee, you owe me something, because like some of the stuff he just does, it just catch me off key, and just makes me laugh and stuff. But yeah, dude, it just, I don't know how funny you you are. Like, we know how funny you are, man. Another character you've been recently doing is this Karen Hunter, and now this Target tag explains like what you just said when you're working there. So now I understand where that Target thing comes.
Former manager at Target, I look, knew what a quote unquote Karen was for almost a decade. And it wasn't a thing until the past couple of recent years. And I was just like, what would happen if Steve Irwin got mashed up with Zoolander and Dog the Bounty Hunter with a little bit of Wile E. Coyote? What would that look like? And I came up with the Karen Hunter, who's always looking for mega Karens and super Karens. And, just jumping back a little bit, when it came to TikTok, I was in the same boat as everybody else, unsure of what the quarantine was going to look like, what the world was going to look like given the circumstances. Yep. And I needed something to entertain myself. And I felt like such an old fogey because I'm going on to TikTok and I don't understand anything. I felt like my father playing Nintendo for the first time. Like, why does it have 2 buttons? You only need 1 button and a joystick. I felt like that. And eventually I kind of found my way. But really, it was just for me to, have a creative outlet. Because in all honesty, being a voice actor, there is a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes. You guys get to see the finished product and the happy parts, but my day-to-day life, I audition. Yep. I try to work on self-care and taking care of myself and exercise, and I'm focused on my networking and the business and the business and the business and the business. So that becomes a bit monotonous at times. Yeah. Even though I'm doing something that's inherently creative. So I just needed a break from that. I needed to cut loose. And my very first TikTok, I was very nervous because I'm like, I'm putting this out to the universe, and it's me in the shower squirting ketchup, mustard, and hot chocolate on myself. And I just,
which one are you talking
about? What are they going to think of? What are they going to think of me if I'm doing that?
Right.
Something, you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. You can't let your environment dictate who you are. You have to be yourself. So I pushed through. At first, people were like, really interesting, Daniel. Good job. I'm like, whatever. It's out there. I'm just going to continue to do it. So I started creating characters. I started having fun with it. I started jumping on trends. But my mission was, I want to try to keep it clean.
Yeah.
I want to try to keep it clean. Not for myself, because I'm a veritable potty mouth, but there's tons of kids on the platform.
Yeah.
I'm a steward of this amazing character of Donald Duck, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing, an air of positivity to that. So I've been very, very mindful of keeping it clean, and I think that's stinted my growth just a little bit on the platform, but I'm okay with that. Again, it's just me having fun, and putting things together that I want to see, that make me laugh. And if it happens to make other people laugh or bring them a smile or a spit take, then so be it. That makes me happy. If you put it out into the world and it comes back to you, then that's the best thing you could ask for.
See, the reason why I told you that is to add to this, because this isn't the first interaction that we've had with each other. Because on the podcast, TikTok, there was I was going through the feed, and you do the music career. So please don't call your manager. You know what video I'm talking about. But you did another one where it was like a I can't remember the song, but it was like you had to scream in the microphone. And so then I had water. I was sitting at my table and I had a water, and you screamed, and I, went like this and all, and you commented on it. But that's the reason why I did that, because I was like, oh, I do all this all the time. I'm going to have a little fun with this and see, because he's doing a video. So you did that. I don't remember what song it was, but you did the screaming in the mic, and I was like this and water. And I didn't want to do this because I practiced it, had like 3 different pairs of shirts that I changed. And I finally did it. And the one time that I thought I had it correct, it went up my nose. And so that reaction, I was like, I'm trying not, but then it happened that way. And it's karma. That's what I get for doing it so many takes.
Bieber songs. It was one of Justin Bieber's songs. And it's like, I don't even remember the name of the song, but it's like,
yeah.
And I'm like, this could be fun. This could be fun.
Now, another thing that's fun.
A couple more of those, because I just think the character is fun. The pretentious, I'm better than everyone.
It's the creative process. I love that. I love their last video. It's just the creative process, because they say that you were out of tone or out of key.
Right. You can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. You're wrong.
Oh, it busted a gut seeing that. You also did, and my dad and I used to watch, God rest my dad's soul, but we used to watch Stargate. And you have this Stargate little series on it, and the caption of the low budget effects, or however you put it, it's funny because you have the laundry basket over your head, and you're this multi-person, you're coming in, man, and then I don't know what character you're trying to play with the longer hair, but you're all smiley.
Well, I mean, it's the core characters of Stargate. I've been doing a watch through from season 1.
Yeah.
And it's a fun show. I really enjoy it. I love the premise, but it is definitely a relic of its time and what he was back then. Hey, we've got this core idea of what we like, and every episode we'll do something different with it. It doesn't have to be cohesive or the same thing. We don't have to worry about continuity. So there are plot holes aplenty, and I'm going through the first season like, okay, we're not going to address that. Okay, well, we forgot about that. All right, cool. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a TikTok about it.
Oh, you hit every character on point, on key. It's so hilarious. And you hit another point on key, because you did, and you were just having fun with it, but it's exactly how the comment section is on TikTok. Exactly.
Here's the thing I really enjoy. One of the things I love about TikTok is the fact that I am accessible to people.
Yeah.
I can go on live. I can have conversations with people. I can answer, questions and comments. And I really do. I try to go through as much as I can and respond to things. But unfortunately, the vast majority of the comments are first. I'm first to like, yay,
second,
third, 14, 15.
Does he say hi?
Or saying like, does he respond?
Yep.
Does the king respond? I'm like, are you talking to me, or who are you talking to? So, you could say, do you respond? Daniel, do you respond? And I'd be like, yes, hello, how are you, sir? Oh, madam, all day, whatever. So like, I love the opportunity to do that. But yes, the comment section can be a little bit of a hazard zone at times. And I really try.
Oh, man. Any particular, because like I said, I want this to be like more of an original interview than, asking you the same old questions and all that stuff. But like, is there any particular TikTok videos that just resonate with you that you want to keep doing more and more of? Because I know there's a few of them, which I call a series, that I'd like you just to continue, because And I don't want to sound selfish when I say that, but it's so entertaining. You do it so well.
Thank you. Thank you. I have always enjoyed physical comedy. I'm trying different things with TikTok because, you have to game the algorithm, so to speak. And everybody loves when I do reaction videos as Donald Duck, as the voice of Donald Duck. Everybody loves those. Those are always popular. And when I do anything else, the algorithm's like, meh, meh. So, I'm trying new things, Stargate. I tried, the 2020 videos of me getting whacked with a pan and, trying the singer, how I left the music industry. I'm just trying little things. I even did a character named Giancarlo, or I'm sorry, Giuseppe, who's like an Italian cook who is just terribly inept. I did one video where he's boiling a pot of water, and here's how you season the water, and here's how you stick your hand in it because life is pain. I'm just having fun with those kinds of juxtapositions, the character-y stuff with, something that might resonate with people and make them laugh. But again, if it makes me laugh, that's what I'm trying to work on. And fortunately, some people seem to think that's funny too. So I'm just rolling with it. And who knows what'll happen? There's some more Karen Hunter coming. It really just depends on the length of my hair because I haven't been to get a haircut. So I may end up as the dude who gets whacked in the head with a pan again.
Man, you did the video and you showed what your hair looked like before when you were doing the 2021-20, and then you just all of a sudden fresh cut. Like your editing skills, I got to tell you, because your editing skills, I kind of like learn and I analyze that to try to help me with my editing because I just got bored. So I started doing like promo competitions and stuff within TikTok. And there's one individual that you kept mentioning to, which by the way, I know it's just, all fun and dandy, but I beat him to take his internet championship from him. And you always told him that phrase from the video game, where Donald says something about you need the ingredients.
Yes. Everyone likes to post in my comments, why won't you heal me in Kingdom Hearts? Well, first and foremost, I have to be clear with people. I was not the voice of Donald in Kingdom Hearts. I played the games. I love the games. I'm a big fan of the game. But that wasn't me. That was Tony Anselmo, who's also been the voice of Donald for the past 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Still does the voice to this day. So he and I work on different projects. But people post that very often in the comments. You never healed me in Kingdom Hearts. So and I just turn around and I say, well, did you find all the ingredients that Donald asked for? Because that's one of the elements in the third game is, he constantly says, this looks like a good place to find some ingredients. Over and over and over again. And you have to find ingredients. So but it's just playing with the fans. You know?
Yeah. No, it's great because I had to face him and I seen that you kept commenting on a couple of his videos. And I thought at one time before I was getting everything in order to have different people to interview for the show, I was like, maybe I should try to get him to pay like the cameo fee and see if I can get him to do a little part. And I'd be like, yeah, I also got a message from some special friend of yours and have you do that. Because, dude, I loved it how you interact with your fans and you're able to because that whole thing adds with the whole pro wrestling thing too, because, you have to interact back and forth, respond.
There is a limit to what I can do. And, mostly it's just out of respect for the property and for Disney. I will interact with the fans, the people who want to interact with the voice of Donald Duck. But for all intents and purposes, Donald is Donald Duck.
Right.
But if people want to interact with me on that level, I'm happy to, react to videos if they're doing the voice or things like that. But in terms of doing skits or things in the voice or doing requests to say things in the voice, I try to keep it very, very limited and concise to the properties that I've worked on.
Right.
So, if someone says, hey, can you say this from Kingdom Hearts? Usually I say, thank you, but no, thank you, I can't. If it's the Mickey and the Roadster Racers or mixed up in fair game. So I just, out of respect for the character, out of respect for, Disney, I try to be very mindful of that.
Right. No, my idea is that you come in, fade in on the camera, and you have like a smart ass look on your face, and you just be like, and Donald just say hello, and then the rest of it was your own voice. Well, maybe if you could have beat him for the championship if you would have had the ingredient. That would have been, because dude, I busted laughing out there. There was something else that I was going to ask you about, and I'm trying to, because I got all stupid and laughed, and I know it's on my notes here. It sounds really unprofessional not to understand that, but oh yeah, this is what I was going to ask you. Because my cousin lives in Washington State, and she came over to South Dakota, so that's a whole different culture situation, right?
I can imagine.
What the travel from Washington D.C., the Maryland area, to California, how much of a culture shock was that for you? Like, that's night and day.
It was a big one. I don't want to say that it was a negative experience. I look at it this way. In Maryland, we have extremes of all the seasons. When it's cold, it's really cold. When it's hot, it's really hot. When it's muggy, it's really muggy. Yeah. Here, it's always sunny and about 70 degrees. So it's always really nice. So when it happens to rain out here, which is like a once in a year event, people are all over Facebook like, it's raining. I felt a drop. There was a drop of rain. Oh my gosh. And everybody's talking about that because it's unusual here.
Right.
But also in terms of natural disasters, we've got earthquakes, we've got wildfires, mudslides, flooding, a little bit of rain and the streets are flooded. So, I jokingly tell people, the seasons back in Maryland, I love the fall, I love the winter, but here in California, we have coyotes, wildfires, avocado toast, and earthquakes. Those are the seasons.
Because I mean, man, like I remember one thing that to this day, it was on the Tonight Show. It was Jay Leno, and he showed a clip of this reporter, and it was like 60 some degrees, and she had earmuffs on, and she had a coat, like a real big Eskimo type of kind of coat, furry, warm, and he goes, look at the corner of the temperature, and it was only like 60 some degrees, and he looks at that, and he goes, you're over in South Dakota or somewhere out east. That's beach weather at this point. Like, they're looking forward at this time of the year for temps like that.
Total polar bear. I'm a total polar bear. I love the cold. But the thing about Los Angeles, which is silly, because I used to laugh at that too, like, oh, it's 65 and you're like, ooh, I used to do that too. But I realized the temperature out here, I don't know what it is, but it gets bone-chillingly cold when it's cold, and the temperature doesn't fluctuate that much. Now, we've got down to like the 30s, the 40s. And when I was in Maryland, maybe because of the humidity, I could tolerate lower temperatures much more. But I'll step outside here at, 39 degrees, and I'm like, no.
Really?
No, can't do it. Instant shivers. So I don't know if that's just a product of me living out here for the past 7 years, but as soon as I moved here, that's pretty much how I felt. Like, when it gets cold, it's really cold.
Yeah.
So, desert weather, I guess. I don't know.
The humidity part. I guess I really didn't even think about that, because I just thought maybe it was like, all right, if it's 30 here, or I can't believe it got to 30 degrees that low out there. Like, that's cold.
30 degrees in the evening. So if it's like 80 degrees, it'll be 50 degrees at night.
Right.
90 degrees, 60 degrees.
Well, that's
very frequent. But like, yeah, I'm a polar bear. I was up in Canada at one point. It was negative 20 degrees, and I ran outside and did naked snow angels and immediately regretted my life. But, still, like, I could tolerate that. And out here, it's like I'll go out to the mailbox and I'm like, ooh, nope, I gotta go.
Well, before we get, because we're getting towards that time to start winding down, because you have other things that you have to do into the end of the show. But, I told you, I've won barbecue competitions, so we can't just go through the show without talking about some type of food. So with that being, from you being on the east side to the west side, I really want to go back to the old high school days. East side, west side. What type of foods did you try any foods on your way over? Is there certain ones that you've been in certain areas of the States that just kind of resonate with you that you like?
So I stopped. I ate in every state, that I traveled through. I had some barbecue in Tennessee that was really good. I stopped and had some with some friends. I had some in Georgia as well. trying to think what in New Mexico I stopped in I made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Literally, and I think I had like chilaquiles, for breakfast, which was delicious. I think it was my first time having that, and as I was getting closer to Los Angeles, the Mexican food that I would try was just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, from Maryland, like, look, we have good Mexican restaurants, but it doesn't compare.
No.
It doesn't compare. You can go out to a food truck out here and get the most amazing tacos, or what is it, birria tacos, where they dip it, and like I just would never have thought about that in a million years. So the food trucks are gourmet out here, and they're all over the place. So it's a whole different foodie experience. And I think I was told, like, for all the restaurants here in Los Angeles, you could visit one every single day for the rest of your life, and you still wouldn't be able to visit all the restaurants.
Wow.
There's so many. But the quality of food here in Los Angeles, the produce is really good. I think that's just because we're closer to it. A lot of it is made here in California or imported from Mexico.
Yep.
So the freshness of the food is distinctly better. Not to knock on Maryland in any way, shape, or form, but I noticed a difference. And frankly, I think people are more health conscious here in Southern California, and that has, rubbed off on me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've discovered vegan food that is amazing, that is so tasty, so delicious, and so healthy for you. I'm not a vegan by any measure of the sort. I'm definitely an omnivore, but I've been leaning more vegan because I feel better. And I didn't have that perspective when I lived in Maryland. I had the perspective of, crab cakes, blue crab, Old Bay seasoning, Natty Bo beer. That was what I liked out there. So it's really opened my eyes to everything. Now, I've also been to Japan, and I had Wagyu for the first time at the Tsukiji Fish Market, and blew my mind. Love Japanese food. I've been down to Mexico and had authentic, Mexican cuisine. I love it. Been to Canada and enjoyed, Timbits and poutine and donaires and all dressed potato chips and everything. So I love the aspect of traveling and eating. I love that image of getting to discover culture and seeing what the world has to offer.
That's the thing that people don't understand sometimes, and it's not wrong for them because it's a normal thing. It's not saying because this is better down here, it's more authentic than what you would have like in my state that I'm in South Dakota. So like they're used to a certain way to do it, but that's not the right actual authentic way. So there is a huge difference.
It's more creativity.
Oh,
There's more creativity because on the East Coast, my takeaway of Mexican cuisine was Taco Bell, which is not Mexican cuisine.
No.
So you come here and it's, you're not just getting a soft taco, you're getting barbacoa, you're getting al pastor, you're getting, delicious chicken, or the birria tacos that I was mentioning, or what is those vampiros, like there's so many different things, and it's just so good.
Tamales is what my friend my friend keeps throwing that in my face because he lives in California. His family has authentic like recipes and all that, and he sends it in our group chat for the podcast. He'll send a photo every once in a while, and I just was like, man, you had to rub it in my face. Like, we get these, the tamales are okay up here, but like, California, the tamales,
diversity of flavors. I love the different cuisines from around the world. I dated a girl from Colombia at one point, and I got all into Colombian food and ajiaco and arepas. So many amazing things. And then I dated a Filipino at one point, and I got into Filipino food and pancit and tocino and adobo, lugao, halo, and all those. So like, I love trying new things. I really do. And it makes me feel closer to the culture and to have a better understanding of things. And let's be honest, it's just plain delicious.
Right. Oh, that brings up the last part of the show where I ask like three random questions. I can't even speak
Oh,
right now.
Where you feed me.
Yeah. Here, television. So I have three random questions. Now I can actually speak. That I just throw out there. So it's like I'll say, "Do you like this over this?" And then there's no right or wrong answer. You just say it's just something new. Like I said, to keep it fresh from the old interviews that you always, get asked or questions you get asked.
Sure.
So we just had a contest on TikTok, even though that I say Pepsi always wins. But do you like Pepsi or do you like Coke?
I like pineapple on my pizza.
You have like raised your respect level up here. I know how many debates that they've had on TikTok. Okay.
So two things to say here. I do love me a classic Coke. I love me a classic Coca-Cola every so often. But sometimes I do crave a Pepsi. Sometimes I crave a Pepsi over a Coke. And if I need to do a character that has to burp, I will always go to a Pepsi because it makes me burp profusely.
Now, next question, because I won championships with friends and, for barbecue. Do you like Eastern barbecue or do you like Western barbecue?
Ooh. Can I say Southern barbecue?
That's part of that okay. Yeah, I guess that'd be saying the Eastern part.
I like big, bold flavor. I like big, bold flavor. I like a leaner cut of meat if I'm having, steak or brisket or something like that. I like a leaner cut of meat. I like, grilled salmon. I will say this, the Mediterranean around the area that I live in, amazing barbecue, amazing kebabs and things like that. Yeah. Oh my God, everything has that flame grilled flavor that I absolutely adore. I wouldn't say that I am as big of a connoisseur of barbecue as I probably should be because I just haven't sampled enough to have an opinion.
Right.
I need to go to Texas. I need to go to Louisiana. I need to taste around. I've been to Tennessee. I enjoyed that. I like a sweet barbecue, but I tend to lean towards savory.
Right.
Less sauce, more dry rub. If I do
Definitely. That's always what I do with the dry rub. There's an old saying that if you have to sauce it, you're hiding the quality of your meat. If you can put a dry rub in there, just give a little, thing to dip your rib in, then, it's perfection, I
want it because there is a time and a place for a juicy, wet rib.
Yes.
I have my choice. I go for a Cajun style dry rub. That's what I like.
Now my mouth is watering. Now I'm going to have to go downstairs. So I got a question before I ask you this one. Do you like sports?
I do. I'm not big on sports because I'm a actor and I'm a large man child who collects action figures. But I like football, American football. My teams are the Ravens and the Washington team. Baseball I never really got into. It was a little too slow for my liking. I mean, I get why people love it. It's just not for me. Basketball, I love going to a basketball game. Those are always fun to go watch live.
Okay.
Hockey games, also fun to watch. I think the best way to watch hockey is to get a bunch of friends and to drink a lot and watch the fights.
There you go.
So every sport has its time and place for me. But if I sit down to watch a sport, it's usually American football.
Okay, so that changed as a question a little bit because I was just going to go with one specific sport, but I'll go there, and you'll probably remember this because of the cartoon. If you were in any sport, it could be any of the sport that these guys resonate in, who are you going to take? Are you going to take Wayne Gretzky? Are you going to take Bo Jackson? Or are you going to take Michael Jordan?
You
know what cartoon I'm talking about, right?
Are we talking Space Jam?
Yeah, well, the Space Jam cartoon, but there was another Saturday morning cartoon where all three of these guys were in there.
Wasn't there a Globetrotters cartoon?
Yes, there was. Yep.
Scooby-Doo every so often.
Oh yeah, it was Scooby-Doo. I love the Harlem Globetrotters.
I did get to see the Harlem Globetrotters once, and they blew my mind. They were so incredible.
Right.
I guess I'd have to say Michael Jordan, only because I love the variety of his career.
Yeah.
From basketball to baseball to CEO of his own brand and everything. There is something to be said about the working conditions, obviously, on that side of things that I'm not a fan of. But
Right.
Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Apparently, he must be getting into NASCAR because they've been advertising for the kickoff of next Sunday or a week from tomorrow that there's a new athlete coming in, and they use a little soundbite from North Carolina. So apparently they revamped everything. So now there's new tracks and stuff, dirt tracks. It's pretty innovative.
Well, I'll tell you, as an actor and a performer, one of the things that I derive the most satisfaction from is being a chameleon, is being somebody that can jump into a role, whether it's on camera or as a voice, and have people say, wait, that's Daniel. That gives me the most satisfaction. So when Michael Jordan jumps from sport to sport to sport, and he can do it,
yeah,
it's kind of the same thing to me. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, I know that we've been I'm sorry that it's probably a little bit past the time that you said that you were available, but I do appreciate it. It was an honor. This last, part, go ahead and, tell the fans what you want to see, what you want them to know, where they can find you and all that. And then I'll have you message me all the links so I can put them in the description when I post this, which would be on Monday, 8/7 Central. I live in the Central area, so I figured that would be more key. But it's on the iRadio Network podcast YouTube page that just wrote out like that. So the platform's yours.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This has been a really amazing and fun conversation, and I really appreciate you reaching out to me. Only thing I would say is follow me on social media. You can find me across everything under actor Daniel Ross, TikTok, Twitter, Instagrams, all across the board, actor Daniel Ross. It would be great if you can follow me and stick along with some of my shenanigans. That would be great. What else can I tell you? I have a store now at my website, actordanielross.com. You see a theme here. So if you would like an autograph from any amazing print that I have from some of the characters that I've performed, you can go to my store and you can order that directly. I do offer one-on-one coaching for voice actors or people who are interested in getting into the industry. Also available through actordanielross.com. I book in half-hour increments, serious inquiries only, please. I do have a cameo if anybody would like a personalized shout-out as well. And the only other thing I could say is I've got a short film coming out called The Distanced that I produced and acted in. We won a bunch of awards on the festival circuit. That's going to be coming out probably later this month. So stay tuned for details about that. I'm very excited about that. And just a message for everybody out there. Follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Whatever it is, you can do it. You can see these things come to realization. You just have to put in the time and the effort. And I know that can be hard, but if you dream it, you can do it. So I believe in you. Go do your thing and follow me on social media.
That's awesome. And that's a great note. Follow your dreams. Don't hesitate. Just go and do it. Sir, once again, you are very appreciated. I can't speak. You're an icon in the business. Thank you. We appreciate everything that you do on TikTok. You make us laugh. It's positivity, and it's all about positivity with me. Man, my name is DjBBQ. This is Daniel Ross. Lucky, Donald, Starscream. Thank you very much. We're out. Peace.
iRadio Network is brought to you by Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Go to MidwestAllProWrestling.com and get tickets today. Remedy Brewing Company. It's the cure for what ails you. Jekyll and Hyde Barbecue. Jekyll and Hyde Barbecue makes barbecue so good, it'll put a smile on your face. And iRadio Network is powered by KBack.Rock. Rock radio the way rock radio should be. Go to KBackRadio.com and listen today.